Rachel Geraldine Pratt was born on the 8th of May 1979. She was part of a large family, being the eldest of 8 children. She was given her middle name, Geraldine, after her maternal grandmother. Her parents were separated, but she maintained good relationships with them both, while living with her mother, Jan Ramirez, in Garden City, Kansas. Rachel was described affectionately as having a big heart and always trying to keep the peace between her younger siblings. Rachel was very talented in track. She played basketball and also the sax. She was a good student with ambition. She had future plans to attend Kansas University in Lawrence, Kansas, upon finishing school, to fulfill her dreams of becoming a pediatrician. But sadly, Rachel would never finish high school. As a 14-year-old high school freshman, Rachel met an 18-year-old boy who would become her first boyfriend. It seems Rachel kept this relationship a secret from her mother, as one day in late 1994, Rachel entered a local Walmart and left in a police car after getting arrested for shoplifting. But she was not stealing for fun. She took a pregnancy test. Rachel's mother Jan demanded to know who the baby's father was, and Rachel told her about her 18-year-old boyfriend. Soon after, Rachel and Jan visited the boy's home. The boy's mother reacted in anger, calling Rachel a liar and saying the baby was not her son's responsibility. Following this incident, on the 31st of December 1994, an aggravated indecent liberties with a child case was reported to the Garden City Police Department, and Rachel was due to testify against her boyfriend as a witness in the unlawful sexual relations he engaged in with her, a child. Amidst all this, Rachel's pregnancy was confirmed at the local health department, and she had doctor's appointments scheduled in the wake of this. On January the 15th, 1995, just 2 weeks after reporting her boyfriend to the police, Rachel played in a band concert, where she had 4 solos in the jazz band, which she played skillfully, and then travelled home saying goodbye to her mother, who went to work a night shift. She spent the evening with her brother, who accidentally set a mattress on fire in the basement. Rachel assisted her brother in putting out the fire and moving the mattress. Then she and her brother settled down to watch the Swiss Family Robinson movie together. Lane. Rachel's then 3-year-old sister awoke in the night, thirsty, and when Rachel kindly greeted her with a drink, she was not to know that she would be the last family member to see her alive. Around midnight, January the 16th, 1995, Jan called the household to check in and found it strange that their phone line was busy so late. She arranged to leave work early, departing at around 2 a.m. When Jan arrived home, she spoke to her son, asking after Rachel's whereabouts, saying she hoped Rachel was not sleeping in the basement filled with smoke. But as he fell asleep on the sofa watching the movie, he did not know where she was. Rachel could not be found in the house, and to add further confusion to her family, they saw that all of her personal belongings were still inside the home, including her clothing, her social security and ID cards, and even her contact lenses. All that went with Rachel was her coat. At around 5 a.m., Jan heard a car driving by her home, one that she recognised as being Rachel's boyfriend's. She has always wondered if Rachel was inside it. The family called the police, but it wasn't for 5 days until they started investigating the case. Rachel's mother states the police did not even visit her house. 5 days after Rachel disappeared, and the police finally began to investigate, a sighting of her was reported by a group of girls. These girls claimed that they had seen Rachel talking on a payphone while in the company of her boyfriend, and that Rachel and her boyfriend finished the call, then left the phone booth and asked the girls for a ride. The girls claimed they declined, and that's when they saw the two of them go into a Dillon's grocery store. This witness sighting has been unconfirmed, and the boyfriend denies this incident took place. He also claims not to have seen Rachel after her disappearance. But seeing as though Rachel was gone, and she being the primary witness in the case against him, the charges were dropped. It's been almost 26 years since Rachel's disappearance, and there is still no evidence that her social security number or ID has been used, or that she has given birth. Rachel's whereabouts remain to this day a mystery. At the time of her disappearance, Rachel Geraldine Pratt was just 15 years old, a Caucasian female, pregnant, and standing at 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighing 125 pounds. She had brown hair and brown eyes and was usually wearing contact lenses. If alive today, Rachel would be 41 years old. If Rachel had her baby, her child would now be around 25 years old. Rachel is loved and missed by family and friends who care about her and want to know where she is. The Garden City Police Department are still investigating the case and meet with her family every year to discuss the status of the investigation. Rachel's mother is still living at the same address and keeping the same phone number, so her daughter will always know where to find her. It is theorized that Rachel could have ran away from home in the middle of the night. Perhaps she didn't want the pressure of pressing charges and wanted to escape. But if that was the case, then why did she neglect to take any of her things? And why would she stay away from home for so long? Also, how would a 15-year-old girl be able to go out and start completely on her own with no money and no identity? Although possible, this theory is unlikely, as she reportedly reliably kept to her curfew times and had shown no interest in running away from home. Rachel was described as full of life, and she was looking forward to being a mother, so it doesn't make sense that she would flee from her life she loved. On the night of Rachel's disappearance, her brother had set fire to a mattress in the house. Some believe this is too strange to be a coincidence, but the family believe it to be just that. There is also no sign of harm coming to Rachel inside her home, and by all accounts, she was part of a very loving family. She was, and still is, adored by her siblings, who deserve answers. Also, years after Rachel vanished, her sister, Rennie Pratt, was convicted of the voluntary manslaughter of her boyfriend after shooting him to death. Is it possible her sister, although 13 at the time, took a violent turn against Rachel? This again seems unlikely, as Rennie's reaction to her sister's disappearance was one of devastation. And Rachel's mother is pushing for the police to investigate what happened to her daughter. She does not want to hide anything from them. She also supported her daughter Rennie in her manslaughter trial, something she would unlikely do if she believed she had hurt Rachel and kept her buried for decades. Jan is quoted as saying, "One daughter's disappearance and another's imprisonment is something she wouldn't wish upon any parent." Of all possible conclusions to this case, the most believed theory is that of Rachel's local boyfriend or his family having something to do with it. She was pressing charges against him, serious charges of having sex with a child that would follow him through life, creating a devastating impact, with evidence of a pregnancy to back those charges up. Not only that, but his mother was furious with these charges and had branded Rachel Pratt a liar for claiming her son had gotten her pregnant. Her things did not disappear with her, just her coat. The phone line was in use at midnight, leaving speculation that he called Rachel, asked her to come outside and talk to him, which she did, quickly putting her coat on. He also drove by her home at 5 a.m. after the disappearance. Was he threatening her by driving past her family home, saying he would hurt them were she not to comply with his demands? Or did he plan to drop Rachel back at home? then got spooked seeing her mother in the window. Rachel deserves justice in her case, and she is loved and missed by her family and friends. After almost 26 years, they deserve answers. If you have any information in the disappearance or knowledge of the whereabouts of Rachel Pratt, please contact the Garden City Police Department. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. If you have a case you want to see covered, please leave me a comment below.